Welcome everyone to episode 11 of the Comic Book Nerds Are Hot podcast. This is one of your hosts, Dr. Peter, and always joining me on this crazy ride is Oz and Tim.
G'day.
Hello.
And it's Tim's birthday today, so let's give a round of applause to the birthday boy.
And his beard.
Yes, his beard, his lovely beard. So this being like the first episode on YouTube and also the first episode of 2013, we're going to do a small episode. We're going to talk about all the comics we've been reading during this holiday season and also who does not deserve to eat tonight. Who would like to start off with what comics you guys been reading during this holiday season?
I'll hand it to Tim.
Okay, birthday boy, shoot.
All right. Well, you can always count on me on having a long list of stuff to talk about.
Okay.
But I'll narrow it down to just a few. So, comic that's really been impressing me lately is a little series called I Love Trouble. Issue 2 came out a couple of weeks ago. It's about a young woman who is kind of a thief, and she discovers that she has the power to teleport. And so, of course, she uses that to her thieving advantage. The story is pretty good, but what's amazing about I Love Trouble is the way that the story is told and laid out. There's lots of great little detail and movement and all sorts of awesome things. You can't really describe it. You've actually got to see one of the pages, but definitely check it out. I Love Trouble. It's a great little book. A couple of series coming out from various places that I've been really getting into. A couple of horror series. Colder is a surprising comic for me in that when I looked at issue 1 through a review, which I didn't actually end up doing, I just thought it would be another one of those image comics, one of the over-the-top grotesque horror comics that don't have any story or whatever. But I started reading it and it was really good. Ferreira, I can't remember his first name, but the guy who does the art, Ferreira, his art is absolutely beautiful. It's about this young woman who works in a mental ward and has this kind of patient that doesn't say or do anything. Body temperature is like well below what it actually should be, but remains alive and just sitting there. And at the end of issue 1, this person stands up and comes to life again. And it's this really great kind of look into mental illness and the idea of crazy people kind of belonging to a separate world. It's a really good read. The other one is Lot 13 by Steve Niles with Glenn Fabry on art. And it's not quite as clever, very visceral. There's a lot of very beautifully illustrated violence. So if that's your thing, get into that.
It's
this week,
Lot
though.
13 is very. It's more of a visual gem, really.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Right. No, it's good. This week, the end of a couple of comics. Sweet Tooth 40 finishes the series. It's an extended issue and kind of serves as an epilogue to the story, and it's very, very good. What happens to the hybrids after everything goes down in the end of issue 39. Very good ending to the series. 38 pages, but I think it probably could have used another 2 pages in a couple of spots. It just felt just a little bit rushed, but generally it was great. And if you've not read Sweet Tooth, it's by Jeff Lemire, who writes and illustrates a very, very good series. Kind of like On the Road meets Bambi. Really good.
Meets Mad Max. Add that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then the other comic that finished this week was Infinite Vacation by Nick Spencer. Have you guys been reading that?
Nope, I haven't.
Did you guys read any of it?
Oh, yeah, I read issue 1 and 2, but then stopped because I'm so getting the trade.
That's what I think everyone did. Because it was so long in between issues, and like issue 4 came out, I can't remember, like 8 months ago maybe, and issue 5 just came out this week. There's a ridiculously long time between issues. The ending is fitting and good, but not mind-blowing. The art's great, and it's definitely a series well worth checking out, but check it out in trade. And I think that'll probably do for me. I'll close my mouth, let you guys have a go.
Well, honestly, though, how could the ending of Infinite Vacation be more mind-blowing than the actual body of it? Like, just the idea of Infinite Vacation, like, some books or comics have a climax at the end, but Infinite Vacation started with the mind fucking, like from the first page. You know, the whole idea of an app that lets you live other lives, like that right away was just like, holy shit. And then on top of it, the style of how they did their advertisement with like real life pictures, like of humans and shit. I found that entire concept so amazing that like it was one of those rare comics where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop pirating it and save the rest of the story for me to enjoy in my own hands. So that's my thoughts on that. Why the ending couldn't have been mind blowing. I mean,
and there's a bit in issue 4 where they talk about, and I'll it's not too big of a spoiler, so don't worry. But there's a bit in issue 4 where they talk about how if there's an infinite number of universes, then there must be a universe where there is only one universe. Therefore, there cannot be an infinite number of universes. And I had to read that page like 2 times. I was like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to like play that over in my head a couple of times too. Like, what?
Yeah, that's right. Wiping the brain off my computer screen. Mind blowing.
Being the complete opposite of Tim, I've been reading a lot of stuff lately, so this is going to take a while, guys. So first thing I've got to mention, I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection from IDW. Collects the first 7 issues of the original Turtles comic from the 1980s. Pretty graphic stuff. It's black and white, oversized collection. Features behind the scenes, interviews with the creators, and what happened during the creation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and also all the crazy violence that happened in these first 7 issues.
Yeah.
And also, spoilers, in the first issue, Shredder dies.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, he
doesn't come back comic styles.
Yes, he does come comic styles in, like, Volume 2.
Meaningless.
Also, for Christmas, I got a bunch of DC New 52. Some of them are the canceled series. I got the OMAC and Men of War. Men of War is a pretty interesting title that got canceled, leaving a bunch of loose threads left hanging out there.
Was it the trade that you got?
Yes, it was the trade I got.
Did it have the backup story in it?
Yeah, it had all the backup stories.
Yeah, okay. Because I read the first few issues and really enjoyed the backup story, but hated the main story.
OMAC, I just started working my way through the second chapter of that trade. Keith Giffen's artwork is pretty great. It's pretty much the homage to Jack Kirby, but at times, like, frustrating reading. But I blame Didio for that. But
Nobody.
Let's just blame Didio for everything.
yes.
Like,
Also,
Sure. He ruined my boner for the Phantom Stranger forever. So
yes, he did.
it's like,
it was a pretty impressive boner, guys.
That's why they brought in JM to co-write the book with him.
Well, yeah, they had to get a babysitter for him and his bullshit writing.
For the third straight time. First time was Superboy with Jimmy Palliato, I'm guessing.
Palmiotti?
Yeah, he co-wrote Superboy with Dan Didio. And
So basically he wrote it and Dan Didio was just like, write poop in this panel!
Yes. And also I've been picking up, I got the first trade of All-Star Western. I kind of understand Tim's gripe about, like, Jonah Hex is in Gotham. What the hell you're doing? Get out. Go to the West. Go, like, catch some bounties, kill some people. Stop complaining Gotham sucks. Get out.
yeah.
That's, like, the major complaint about the book. And I keep on thinking this is like a Batman tie-in book.
Of course.
Yeah. See, I dropped it in the single issues. Like, I'm going to wait and see what individual story arcs are like and probably just get them in trade, because I was just sick of having Batman Batman never appeared in it, but having kind of that storyline forced down my throat. I don't want to read about the rest of the DC universe. I don't care. I want to read about Jonah Hex. I want to read about his badassery roaming around killing people with his 6-shooters.
Not complaining about Gotham stinks.
Exactly.
Amazing Spider-Man 698 to 700.
I'm recording.
I suppose we should probably talk about that, hey?
Yes, we should probably talk about Amazing Spider-Man 698 to 700 and Superior Spider-Man #1.
Who's read it?
I read it.
I haven't read Superior Spider-Man, but I did read 700.
Yes.
Oh, Can I just say something before
Yes.
we get into all that?
Yes, go on.
Man, look, I mean, the three of us are aficionados. We're pretty much the king of the nerds. We have our opinions. It might be respected, might not, but we know what they are, right? And look, it might be a little hypocritical, but can the fucking nerds relax for a minute?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Like sending death threats to Dan Slott? What is up with that?
Yeah, like get a fucking life.
Get
You
laid.
fucking said maybe, I mean, look, okay. When I say like maybe we're being, the hypocritical part is like we have ourselves freaked out about shit that's happened in comics before. We've all been X fans at one point, so we did blow our light bulbs here and there once in a while. But, I don't know, maybe it's because we're a little bit older now, or I don't know, for me personally anyway, I just look at it as like, yo, he died in that book, huge spoilers, nerds. Peter Parker died in that book. His new book hasn't even come out yet. Why the fuck are you, like, hanging the messenger, or whatever the fuck analogy you want to use? Like, dude, wait till the first issue at least, then start your bitching. Don't start fucking being like, I quit everything. Sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like, it's Marvel for a start, and then it's Peter Parker second, as if, he's not going to come back within, like, 6 issues.
Exactly.
I give it 3.
Seriously. No, he's, when I read that he died, it's like, I already made my own conclusions. It's like, okay, so it's Peter Parker's body, it's Doc Ock's mind with Peter Parker's memories. But obviously the obvious solution is it's actually Peter Parker with Doc Ock's memories, thinking he's Peter Parker, but brainwashed to think he's Doc Ock. Like, there's your easy solution. Doc Ock is the one who died, and I doubt he's even dead. He'll be back in a few fucking issues like, I transferred my consciousness to a clone body this time, and just ignore everything that happened, Like, come on.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything that happens in Superior Spider-Man issue 1, but you guys want me to talk about Superior Spider-Man issue 1? Because I actually read it.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Do you want spoilers or non-spoilers?
I want spoilers, but we might just say spoiler alert here. Skip forward maybe a couple of minutes if you haven't read Superior Spider-Man.
Same for me, Peter. I don't give a shit.
Okay,
Go for it.
So you guys don't give a fuck. Okay, let's drive this truck. Okay. At the end of Superior Spider-Man issue 1, we see a ghostly apparition of Peter Parker appearing. So his consciousness is still inside.
Well, there you go. One issue. One issue.
No. The issue would have had to end for it to be one issue.
It was on the last page. So it was basically we see
20 pages.
Yeah.
That's all you had to wait, nerds. 20 pages. Are you happy now that you killed Dan Slott's dog and his bus driver and his mailman?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, get a grip.
So basically, Dan Slott said to the fans, "Suck it."
This was obvious. Like,
yes.
To the fucking veteran fan like me, you, and Tim, like I said before, this was the obvious move. Let's make it not so obvious how Peter Parker returns. Let's say that, this is a suggestion for you, Mr. Slott, you, instead of bringing Peter Parker back in the same old boring-ass fashion, let's make that apparition live in Doc Ock's testicle sack. Bear with me here. Doc Ock gets his fuck on, and Peter Parker gets reborn. Add the FF, accelerated growth, bada bing, bada boom. 5% more originality, eh? Guys?
Wait. This sounds so similar to, who's that X-Men character? Hope, yes, Hope.
She didn't get accelerated growth. She just lived in the future where time was, up to the writer's whim how long time passed.
You mean
because, Cable went there at the age of 80, came back at the age of 145, but it's Cable, guys. Come on.
You mean Lone Wolf and Cub in Time and Space?
Pretty much, right? Fuck. Let's not waste too much time on fucking Spider-Man. Fuck Spider-Man and fuck the Spider-Man fans. I'm sorry, guys, but y'all need to fucking chill the fuck out.
Or get laid.
Yeah. And
Get
I mean,
fucking
you got to,
laid.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you got to give it to Dan Slott though. Like I'll talk about top 500 comics of 2012 later on. But how long has Spider-Man 700 been on sale? Like 2 weeks?
Yeah, not
Yes.
even.
3 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks, almost
Yeah.
3.
It is the 4th best-selling comic of the year.
Oh my god, he's a genius.
Hey, it's the Slut Army, man. It's better than the Kiss Army.
No. It's not just the Slut Army. Do you realize how many insurgents he has now? How many turncoats? But they all bought an issue. And I bet they all bought extra copies to share their anger with their friends
That's
and
right.
family.
Yeah. And despite
Wow.
all their saying, "Oh, I'm done," they will all buy Superior Spider-Man 1 as well.
Oh, without a doubt.
And if you go on YouTube, you probably see more people complaining about Amazing Spider-Man 700 and probably burning and ripping their copy, but still have that second copy somewhere buried in their drawer.
That's right.
Tim, did you
Yep.
say of the month or
No,
all?
of 2012. The
Of
entire
the year.
Number 4.
Yeah, it's been on sale for like 2 weeks. It's the 4th best-selling of the year.
So in 6 days in 2012, it's the number 4 best-selling.
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. That it's a psychological effect with comic nerds, eh? Even though they'll be mad, the companies know that the angrier they get, the more money that means. The angrier they get, the more they're gonna talk about it, the more gonna blog about it, the more they're gonna expose it. Anyway, yo, what are we doing here? You guys totally skipped me on my fucking comic.
I'm
talk.
still rolling.
We haven't skipped you, man. We just haven't got to you.
I'm still rolling.
Jesus.
I'm still rolling.
All right. Keep going, Peter. Keep going.
Okay, so I picked up Harvey Pekar's The Quitter, another
Cool.
autobiographical comic he did about his early life, which is pretty neat.
Who
What?
illustrates that, or are there several illustrators?
It's one illustrator. I have the book on my shelf. I'm too tired to get up and look who did it.
Okay.
Go check on Amazon or Wikipedia. Reading Grant Morrison's Super Gods. Pretty great. He talks about the history of superheroes and his love for Superman, almost like
Did
a
you
fan.
gain any wizard powers?
I think he gained those powers while masturbating to Action Comics issue 1. Also, been catching up on Peter David's Incredible Hulk run. Gotta wish, speedy recovery to Mr. David.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here.
It's like reread.
Yeah. He took a few steps the other day. I was reading, which is good. So he's getting there slowly.
Oh Jesus,
Slowly.
really? It's that bad? I had no idea.
Yeah. No, he was. He when it first happened, he couldn't even sit up. But yeah.
I hate human frailty. I have some issues with it, but like, holy fuck, I really hope that PAB recovers and fucking all the best to his family and shit. So
If you read his book, Kathleen, his wife, has been updating, and there's some really emotional stuff on there. His daughters. Kathleen took his daughters to Disney World, and them breaking down in tears because they're like, "Oh, we wish Daddy was here," and all that kind of stuff. It was, some pretty emotional stuff.
Yep.
this is on his Facebook?
Oh, and his blog.
On his
On his
website.
blog.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Peter
check that
David.
out.
Yeah, and the last 2 books I got mentioned before I pass the torch off to Oz is Daredevil and Hawkeye. Both great books, awesome quality, great storytelling, and great artists. And David Aja, marvelous. He's channeling his inner Hergé and how he just
Hawkeye's been dope.
Yeah, Hawkeye's been dope.
And how good has been the artists on Daredevil been? Like you've got Marcos Martin, Chris Sam.
Yes.
What is up with that? Brings
so many good artists.
Yeah, that brings up a thing with the writer of Hawkeye, Matt Fraction. This guy has quite the duality issue, doesn't he? It's like he has to have a balance of suck and kicking ass, because here you have him on Hawkeye. He's kicking it. He is destroying it. But then you have him on something else. He sucks. Then you have him. He's got rays on both Fantastic Four books, FF and Fantastic Four. FF has been rocking Fantastic Four has been boring. He has to take a shit before he creates magic. Does that...
Yeah.
But also, maybe the artists themselves are doing great work. Like,
honestly, sure, yes. Look, Aja and Allred obviously are kings of the industry. They're really good. Like, even Aja, he has that, like, grizzly style, but it works. Like, it works. That, not grizzly. That doesn't even fucking make sense. That grizzled, like, worn out look. Grizzly. But anyway, but back to FF. Allred, yes, he is making the story more enjoyable, but I mean, I don't know, maybe that's motivating Fraction, because his writing in FF, you can't just have a pretty picture and call it art. It has to have a strong subject, you know. The things that are going on in FF are fast paced. They're interesting. You're getting into the mind of Scott Lang. Like, I love in one part in issue 2 where Medusa wakes up and she's ringing the bell and she's like, "Where is everyone?" Because she's like royalty in her planet or whatever. You know, it's a lot more interesting. It's a lot more interesting in FF than Fantastic Four. Maybe things will change. Issue 3 came out today. I'll be picking it up next week, so maybe my opinion will change completely. But it's weird with the Fraction. It's like he has to have his yin and yang. He has to throw up before he can sing like an angel. I noticed that happens with a lot of writers. A quick example, Jason Aaron. His Thor right now is mind-blowing. His current arc in Wolverine and the X-Men has been blowing my anger. I don't know. It's been annoying. It's not been good. But anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Duality.
time to take over. What books have you been reading, Haas?
Oh, it's me?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Well, woo-hoo. Let's see.
It's better be good now, Oz. There's been so much build-up. You've got to blow our minds.
Like Grant Morrison on crack.
I will share with you guys right now my top 2 comics, and are they both? Are you responsible for both, Tim? I think you might be. I think you are. We've been talking about Saga for 2 years now, ever since we started this podcast. Remember, even one of our Who Doesn't Deserve to Eat Tonight
Brian
was
Cavon.
BKB.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and it was like 3 days before it was announced at the con.
San Diego Comic-Con.
It was like a couple of days we recorded, and you were like, that bastard hasn't been doing any comics. Fuck him in the ass. But then 2 days later, 3 days later, boom, Saga's announced, and you were like, you should grab it. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And my favorite comic of the year is Saga, tied with Rachel Rising. This book, there's 2 trades out, people. The first trade is dark. It's fucked up. It's like Tim said before, used the word before, visceral. It's dark. It's mystical. It's like, it's nothing you've read before, but at the same time, it has all the perfect horror elements. It is to a comic, but it is creepy. Okay. The first trade was subtle as fuck. It didn't give too much away. It introduced all the mysteries. But by the second trade, and you don't usually see this, by the second trade, a lot is revealed. To the point where, like, when I did my review, I didn't know what to talk about anymore, because every issue was like, this is what this is. This is what this is. This is what this is. In a way, it makes me nervous about the next collection, because, like, what's left? Where can they go? But knowing more, he can only go up, because, like, the first trade, I was mind blown. The second, again, I was mind blown. I don't know how it's possible, since my mind was already scattered all over the floor from the first time, but it did happen. So those 2.
And can I just
yes. No, go ahead.
Can I just mention Terry Moore's art too, because there are a lot of lazy artists in the industry, and we talk about them all the time. But Terry Moore's art, while nothing particularly doesn't kind of stand out, say, as someone like Eric Powell or Riley Rossmo, or someone that has a very distinct style. But Terry Moore's art, he works hard. He thinks about how clothes fit on people. He thinks about how people walk, how the way that hair moves on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. He thinks about those things. And the guy works harder than so many more people in the industry to write, draw, ink, and letter an entire book every 5 weeks. And he is consistent. Every 5 weeks, new issue of Rachel Rising. Every single one of his series, probably as far back as maybe Strangers in Paradise Volume 3. Every 5 weeks, new issue. He just works hard. His art is clever and realistic. I think he's a genius.
His angles, his perspectives, his layouts, like you're watching a movie that's a fairy tale come to life. Like it's. I don't really need to add anymore because everything that you said, Tim, I'm sitting here nodding my head along. Like I know you guys can't see me, but I completely 100% agree with all of that.
Also, check out Tim's interview with Terry Moore on comicbooknerdsahat.com. Free plug.
Yep. I really like that interview because even in the interview, you can see like he doesn't waste time. He's like, okay,
Yeah, every answer is so brief, isn't it? Yeah.
It is brief. It is a short sentence, but he answers everything you asked in it.
Yeah.
He doesn't waste time. He's just
except when I ask him things like, so what's happening next in Rachel Rising? He's like, yeah, you'll just have to read it and find out because I'm not telling you.
And most of the time that's a huge tease and it's like, fuck you. But in his case, I have enough respect to be like, okay. This year actually has been my year of discovering new comics and new creators, new artists, new writers, new companies. Basically, I've been getting out of the mainstream. It's something I usually go by in my life. I don't typically like fashion or pop stars. And I started blending that a little bit into my comic book collecting. And, with a guide like Tim, I never really fail. Right now, let's see, outside of the two that I mentioned, some of my new artists that I'm in love with right now, Brandon Graham, responsible for the previous released King City and currently on multiple warheads from Alphabet City to Zootron or whatever the fuck. That has been amazing. His books, if you want to invest $2.99 in something that will last the test of time, do it with this book. It's something that you can read once through, go back to, and keep finding new shit in it. The guy does not waste a single centimeter in his panels. He loves filling it up. So that I have to appreciate.
And he populates his world with these amazing little characters that aren't even really characters, like particularly in Multiple Warheads, there's these little creatures that'll run around and say random things and throw throw a word or something into the conversation.
He loves to play with words too, eh?
Yeah, that's right. And he's got an art book coming out in May, I think. So
excellent.
I reckon. Yeah, it's from his sketchbooks, and so there's going to be a lot of just really random, cool, Brandon Graham-esque awesomeness in there. Yeah.
The guy can't even draw a normal grocery store with normal products. Everything has to be hyper-accelerated nachos and anti-gravity like cookies, nuclear radiation. Like, it's amazing. It's fun. It's a little stonerish sometimes, I notice. Like, some stuff, it's like, really, dude, you went there? But you know what? You got to give the guy props for even going there at all. Another artist, and I am clamoring for the next trade of this, but Mr. James Stocco, responsible for Orkstain. I want more Orkstain so bad.
He's illustrating a new book. Let me just look it up.
Godzilla, right?
Sullivan Slug. Well, he has done a bit of Godzilla, but he's got one called Sullivan Sluggers. We'll see when that's coming out.
Let me ask you something. How's he doing Sullivan Sluggers and the Godzilla? And what about Orkstain? Does that come out every once in a while, or is that it's not I'm guessing it's definitely not a monthly.
It comes out very infrequently. So Sullivan Sluggers, it's by Mark Andrew Smith, and James Stocco does a lot of the illustrations. It's not available on Amazon yet. I don't know when it'll come out.
It's all good. Who is the writer of The Strange Talent of Luther? Something Jordan?
Justin Jordan. Yeah.
Justin Jordan. There's another book. Truth be told, Luther Strode is all about the violence and the gore, but it doesn't really stop there. It does feel that desire or need or want or whatever, but it's interesting. It's something new, and again, the curse of trade waiting. Like, I am definitely a singles man. I am a singles man. I love to fucking get my shit the second it's released, but for sometimes when you start shit when it's already started, sometimes the hunt it takes too much energy to hunt, so you choose not to. So basically that I am dying for as well. It's, issue 2 came out today, right, of the new series?
Yeah. I haven't
Legend.
read it yet, but I've got it waiting for me there. Yeah.
There you go. Shit. Other than that, I mean, fuck. You know, it's better that I look at my pickups, because I'll have them in my closet. I'm not going to get up for them, though. I'm just going to scroll down here. I'm very meticulous with my list. Here we go. Storm Dogs. Interesting as fuck. Stuff of Legend. That's nothing new, but I've been reading it, and I've been liking it. It's slowed down a little bit recently, but whatever. It's still good. Revival. I was shocked that it wasn't 5 issues. I don't know why I thought it was that.
Me too. When they got to issue 6 and the story wasn't even finished at the end of issue 6, I'm like, there's more? You know? Yeah.
No, but I believe it was advertised as that, or like, since we both seemed to were adamant that we thought it was going to end. But you know what? It's been a cool book, so awesome that it's continuing. Yeah. Saga, I've already mentioned. The Goon, another praise to Mr. Barkles. Amazing. Oh, Barkley, did I tell you that? I don't know if you saw my pictures, but I hit up the con and I fucking scored a shitload of Goon trades, eh? I got, yeah, dude. I got 5 of them for like 40% off, baby doll. I'm like, I got 5 of them for like 50 bones, dude. So I was really happy for that. Next. Archer and Armstrong, this is something I actually discovered by myself. Y'all know I fucking pirate comics. I ain't fucking nervous to talk about it. I live in Canada, motherfucker. But anyway, Archer and Armstrong was one of those things that, you know, you get your like 7,800 X titles and you're like, oh, what's this? You know, I'm a little bit bored of the 7,812 X titles, so maybe I'll check out this new comic. It's a #1. I checked it out. Amazing. Fred Van Lente, Clayton Henry, hilarious, action filled, and fucking hilarious every issue. Glory. I believe that's another one I might have discovered myself. I'm not sure. Well, it
wasn't for me. I haven't been reading it.
It is delectably violent, and at the center of all this violence is women. So. Right. Bedlam by Nick Spencer. Yeah, you know, I'm not really a huge fan of Spencer's mainstream stuff, like when he's on DC or Marvel. And Morning Glories was interesting, but I'm not as crazy about it as certain people. But Bedlam's been pretty cool, and as we've pre-mentioned before, Infinite Vacation, I didn't have a chance to jump on it in its initial release, but I'm definitely getting the trade.
Back to, just jump in again. Back to Bedlam again. Riley Rossmo has had an amazing year. He and Jamie McKelvey are 2 of my all-time favorite artists, and they've both had amazing years hitting kind of mainstream big books. And Riley Rossmo's art, if you're not familiar with it, is absolutely amazing. If you like Jim Lee, you'll probably hate it. But if you're open to kind of, you know, quite unique art and very distinctive work, it's fantastic. I'm a fan.
You said he's the one that's on Bedlam, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that art's been great. I've been liking it a lot, for sure. Okay, next is Transfusion. This book, look, I complained about it before. The fact that it's 3 issues helps. But basically, it's one of those books where the art speaks a lot because the characters don't. Like, there's not a lot. The book is on a word diet. There's not a lot of story. There's not a lot of dialogue. But it's the art that speaks for it. Who was it called? Who's the artist called? Mem13? Like, he thinks he's a robot or something?
Yeah, Men13. Yeah.
Men13 or like a DJ at a rave. Either way.
Yeah.
The Transfusion's been great for the visuals, and I will continue. And the concept itself is super fucking interesting. life on Earth is about to end. Basically, the only living creatures are vampires and robots, and both their resource for survival is blood. So with the human race almost extinct, they're having a hard time fighting for the last bit of morsels. Continuing.
It is a very beautiful, though, isn't it?
It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I was a little pissed. Like, I read issue 1 in about 13 seconds. Like, it went by in these 2 snaps of my thumbs. I grabbed issue 2, I looked into it, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm grabbing this. Peter, are you dying on us?
No, I'm not dying.
I keep hearing you breathing. It's bothering me. Stop. No, I'm just kidding.
His art is a little Ben Templesmith-ish in the way that he layers textures. Certainly his lines are not quite Templesmith-ish, but his textures very much so.
Agreed.
And
he's got that layering process.
And unlike Templesmith, he won't hit on Oz's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, Templesmith, put it back in your pads. Next, Multiple Warheads I already mentioned. The Hypernaturals by DNA. It's been interesting. The art, Brad Walker, I remember him on Guardians. He seemed like he was a lot better on that. Like, maybe he's being rushed, or I don't know what the fuck's going on. Hypernaturals, check it out. It's good sci-fi. You might have to do a once over, read it again to get the idea, to understand the idea well. But either way, it's been good. There's a good reason why I'm still getting it. Finally, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a few, but whatever. I just actually crossed out Great Pacific because, it was interesting, but then, it kept trying to be more interesting, and I was like, okay, dude, you already had the job, but because you kept trying to impress me more, you're not going to get the job anymore. Next, Nowhere Men. It's complex. That's all I'll really say about that. Other than that,
it's probably gonna read Nowhere Men. Is probably gonna read much better in trade, I think, because I've been reading the issues too, and sometimes I just scratch my head like, what is going on? I think if you're reading a trade with the full story straight to start to end, I think it'll probably make a little bit more sense.
Tim, have you read issue 2 of it?
Yeah, I have.
What do you think? I mean, I read issue 1 so far. Funny enough, my issue 2 is sitting here. I haven't read it since I picked it up like 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to read it. Issue 1 was good. I like that it's about intellectuals. I like that it's about a motivational company that's like supposed to make inventions for the future. And finally, I like that it had a hint of aliens with those people on that vessel and they're all getting the disease. I liked all that.
It's very interesting that the stuff with the sick people, the disease, that's really played out in issue 2. That's kind of the focus of issue 2. But yeah, it's one of those books that you finish the issue and you think, I need to read that again to actually figure out what on earth is going on.
You know what? That is actually a good merit, because something that challenges your mind and your understanding even, that will always be a plus for me. Not in the way where it only, sometimes Morrison does this, but he just confuses the shit out of everybody. He's basically, telling secrets to himself that only he knows in his books, It's like, dude, I don't live in your brain, okay? But it's not like this at all with this, and I'm glad that you said that about the second issues, because I am a lot more interested in the crew with the disease, actually. Like, the intellectual inventor guys, it's all interesting. I know they're going to be all tied together, the story, but for now, it's like all you really got from them is, they were buddies, they were all handsome young go-getters, and now they're, a little bit older, and there's one gone, and there's something going on with them. The crew part is more interesting. I'd like to actually... I know we're all about the comics and shit, but what I mainly wanted to discuss was actually other things that I've been into that do fall under the nerd requirement, which are, funny enough, movies and TV shows I've seen recently. If I may, Peter?
Yes, you can. You can go
Thank
ahead.
you, sir. Thank you, Doctor.
And before we head to your TV and movies, check out Tim's interview with Justin Jordan on comicbooknerdsareHot.com.
Damn, Tim, do you ever stop?
There's a few.
There's a few.
I think while
I haven't interviewed. Terry Moore was the last one that I did, which was quite a while ago. So hopefully this year I'll be able to get to interview a few more. But Ronaldo's been interviewing heaps of people. He's been interviewing stacks of people.
Love you, Ronaldo. You know what, though, Tim? I have a feeling that when you sleep, your beard wakes up and gets the
Yeah, that's right.
It's sentient.
Yeah.
It's a sentient
It's
life.
sentient. We all know this,
Yeah.
you know? It's, but, okay. So, first of all, I'm gonna just nerd out for a minute. I promise when I say a minute, it'll be a minute. Jake the Dad!
Oh, gosh.
Jake the Dad! Oh my god, I've been fucking waiting for this episode for like so long, and it was so awesome. I love all those puppies, and that's all it'll be.
And
I
Jake
love
wore
it.
his dad's hat also in the episode.
Did you like it when like he lost the dad hat and then he just formed it out of his skull anyway?
Out of his own skin.
You've seen the episode obviously, right?
Yes, I have.
They kind of one little thing. They kind of the end of it. He just shows up and he's like, yeah, so my kids they kind of grow up ultra fast. Jake Jr. already has a huge beard, so they've already taken care of themselves. So I'm living back with you guys now. It was kind of a quick, let's put everything back together again type of thing, you know? But it's like, hey, dude, my kids have grown up. I'm back here now.
So it's like it's like the Norman Osborn Gwen Stacy theory.
Oh shit.
I blame you, GMS, for that.
Let's see. Next, a lot of shows have been on break, but one show that never takes a break is American Horror Story. It's when the second season started. Actually, it's called American Horror Story Asylum. But basically, when this show started, it introduced a lot of ingredients in the soup. Aliens, Nazis, Satan, psychos, murderers,
Gimps.
Deformed, fucking Nazi scientists. Like it introduced, dude. Anne Frank was in that series at one point, okay? And when that went down, I was just like, holy shit, you guys. But you know what? The last 2 episodes, which is the last 2 of 5 episodes, I believe, have all been tying everything together, and it is paying off very well. It is paying off very well, so I have to commend that. And finally, I've been kind of in an anime mood recently, and I've been out of animes for a long while, you know, and one of my friends told me about this one anime called Sword Art Online Project. Basically, it's about this MMO that uses virtual reality, blah, 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 the year 2022, whatnot, luck. Either way, shit goes down where everybody gets trapped in this MMO, and if they die in the game, they die for real, blah, blah, blah. There's a huge struggle. It was a great show, but it ended like the second half, we should say the last third of it, went whack styles. Like apparently there's a second season, but it left a bad taste in my mouth. And when that happens, I try to replace it with another taste in my mouth, which is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Holy fucking shit. A lot of the guys have been talking about it and suggesting it to me for a while now, perhaps even a year or two. And I haven't had the time or basically the motivation to check it out. But let's say I started this show last week. I'm on episode 44 already. It's mind-blowing. I just wish someone would have told me the concept. Like, not even the concept. If they would have just told me about the Eldrick brothers, I would have started it. But I had it on my computer anyway, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll check out issue 1. Issue 1. I'll check out episode 1. And if it works for me, it works. And, I'm on episode 44.
You got like another 20 episodes left before the end.
Dude, exactly. 44 ends at 64. So, yes, sir. 20 episodes, and I can't wait. It's going to be painful for it to finish. But, hey, what are you going to do? Next, done with the TV shows, I want to go into movies. The last month and a half, I've watched a shitload of dope movies. Starting, I believe, with Life of Pi. It was great. Did you guys watch that one?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm planning to watch it when the DVD or Blu-ray comes out.
No.
Tim, I suggest you take the wifey, even take your son, man. It's a great movie. It's like, it energizes the human spirit, you know what I mean? There was another few movies, nothing, like, they were really good, but nothing really worth mentioning in detail. Last night, however, and I'm sure you guys saw this all over both groups, but I watched Django Unchained.
Yes, Django Unchained.
Django, excuse me, Django. You know, motherfucker, if you don't want you to be called the Django, why add a D? Anyway.
It's silent.
Right, he even says it in the movie. Basically, look, I'm gonna repeat some stuff I might have said on the boards, but like, dude, the dialogue in that movie is like 22,000 NWA songs compacted in 2 hours. You guys know me, man. I'm not fucking shy. I don't get like offended or shocked, but even I was bashful at the amount of times they dropped the N-bomb. And it's like every single actor got a shot to do it like 8,000 times each.
But I mean, that's Tarantino style, isn't it? Like, you take one thing that might, make the audience squirm and times it by 1 billion.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
He was, like, this time around, though, he was really pushing it. Like, I understand how novelty can be seen as art, but sometimes I was just like, in just the way they were casually saying it. And look, in the theater audience, I was sitting next to an African-American young lady. So a lot of the times I was kind of like rubbing my face nervously. You know that nervous tick you get sometimes where you touch somewhere on your face? I was doing that for the whole almost 3 hours. And that was another thing. 3 fucking hours, dude. It's a little bit of a recipe for disaster, especially at my old age. I can't do 3 fucking hours sitting down. I need to smoke. I need to pee. I need to change my colostomy bag. I need to do my shit, you know what I'm saying?
At least you're not going to be watching The Hobbit.
I fucking watched The Hobbit too, and yes, it made me neck sweat. Dude, Tim, you have to understand, okay? We live in Montreal. It is currently, actually the weather's not been bad for the last 2 nights, but this season, the weather goes down to minus 20, 30. So when we go in the theater, we're fucking dressed for death, for cold death. We got our double sweaters on, our fat-ass jacket, and, when you sit down in the theater, there's only so many layers you remember to take off. At the end of Django Unchained, I finally remembered, because obviously I was stoned too. I never go to a movie sober. But I finally remembered at the end of the fucking movie that I had my hoodie on, because I kept sweating and I kept doing the neck rub and the fucking face rub and all the N-words dropping in front of me and this poor young lady who was giggling nervously next to me, and I'm just everything together. At the end, I just got up and I'm like, I left. I couldn't finish the movie. Like, it was too much. And also I was gonna miss my metro. I wasn't gonna do no fucking 2 hours of nothing. Anyway, Django Unchained, it really changed my perspective on a lot, and not even necessarily to do with the subject matter. It was just very thought-provoking. Like, I was thinking about my own life, about my people in my life, about the group, about, everything, really. It was very thought-provoking. It just showed how fragile humanity is and how we can be pushed to doing the wrong thing so easily and how long it takes. I mean, one thing it made me think that does have to do with the movie is, how long did slavery go on for? Like, was it decades or centuries? I know it was the 1800s or even before then. Slavery is a concept that has been actually around from, forever, eh?
Yes. Yeah, hundreds of years.
That's beyond fucked up. It's just that I guess, less than that, because, I figured once we got to society, you would think that a concept like that would be abolished, but I'm saying when the Americas, for example, they started doing their settling and settlements or whatever, guess it was 100, maybe 150 years?
Yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm. Wikipedia, look it up.
Okay, I'll do that. I figured maybe one of you guys would know.
I think Pete's asleep.
I'm still alive. I'm just...
Yeah, Pete, you're one rude son of a bitch, you know that?
A whole bunch of people I know are doing podcasts, and sometimes they're sleeping. I'm just like checking.
It's like, dude, don't do a fucking podcast if you're gonna go to sleep, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Anyways, Django Unchained. What you watched The Hobbit also? Which
yes, I did. It was a beautiful date that I had with my friend Steven.
Yes.
It was amazing. We snuck in Whoppers in our pockets.
I thought you like gave each other like hand jobs while watching it.
What the fuck, dude? You know I like bitches. It was a date in the sense that he bought me my ticket. I snuck in the Whoppers. I got us a drink. We were texting each other while we were sitting right next to each other. It was cool. No, I'm just kidding. But it was awesome.
I made a personal commitment with my life after watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm never going to watch another 3-hour plus movie ever again. It's like it's not worth it.
Agreed. And it wasn't even 3 hours, eh? It was like 2.5.
The trouble with it is though that they only told about an hour and a half's worth of actual story.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind if I'm going to sit through a 3-hour movie. I want to be told 3 hours worth of story. But no, the narrative was like like an hour and a half of actual storytelling, and then it's just the whole thing was so long and drawn out.
But the problem is, The Hobbit is only one book, and Peter Jackson wants to split it up into 3 movies.
It's ridiculous. Could have been 1 3-hour movie,
or maybe 2 films
easily. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the movie a lot. I liked it a lot more than Lord of the Rings. For fuck's sake, man. Seriously, dude. Like, no. Too much. I don't know. Like, my movie experiences are getting ruined because I like to show up for the movie, okay? I like to enjoy the movie, and then I'd like to be able to catch my fucking metro home. Or, not leave the movie yawning.
Mm-hmm.
Or wanting to fucking fall on the floor and sleep. I don't know.
I'm going to have to cut out. I just got the boys pretty upset, and I got to go look after him. So
no
awesome
worries,
talking
man.
to you, Pete. You know my Who Doesn't Deserve to Eat Tonight. You can do that for me.
I can say that. Don't worry.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Later, Tim.
Later,
Good night.
Night.
Bye.
Why don't we just head up the Who Wants to Eat Tonight? I mean, who doesn't?
There's a lot of people who want to eat tonight, but there's going to be such a few category of people not going to be eating tonight. So
why don't you do yours and Tim's?
I'll do
try
Tim's
to keep
first.
it brief so you can go to bed and sleep.
I'll do Tim's first. There's a recent article in Bleeding Cool, are the top selling comics of 2012. And Tim blames the general public for buying Avengers versus X-Men. If we look at just the top 10 best-selling comics of 2012, number 1 is Walking Dead 100. Number 2 is Uncanny Avengers. Number 4 is Amazing Spider-Man 700. Number 10 is Avengers issue 1. And the other 6 books is Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So Tim is blaming the general public who bought Avengers versus X-Men for buying this crappy, horrible story, as he had mentioned in previous episodes and also on a Facebook group. This story was just bad, and why people bought this comic in large quantities is just ridiculous.
So, general public, if you have an issue of AVX sitting in your closet, you don't fucking deserve to eat tonight, bitch. And I'm sorry, I bought AVX. Did I buy AVX? I bought AVX issue 1. So, too late, bitch. I already had my steak. Next is Peter.
And my Who Deserves to Eat Tonight, we're going to the music industry. In a recent scandal, a lot of record companies got caught when YouTube discovered that they were scamming YouTube views, getting their view count into a large quantity, and making some money from revenues and also from YouTube themselves. As a result, Sony BMG Records went from over 850 million YouTube views on their YouTube channel to just 2.3 million.
Whoa.
Which they rightfully didn't deserve to get. And wondering, maybe these people should go to jail, because this is the same business that's complaining about people downloading music. So now they got their hands caught in the cookie jar. Maybe they don't deserve to eat. Not also food, maybe prison food. Hell, maybe they need to go to jail.
Nice.
Yes, so that's Who Does Not Deserve to Eat Tonight, the music industry.
Interesting. Mine doesn't deserve to eat tonight candidate is someone that I contacted a long time ago. They have shit to do with the comic industry. They actually run a very successful website. You know, it talks about comics and sci-fi and all that good nerd shit. And I talk with the head executive, producer, boss, manager, what the fuck ever. And basically, I asked him for a job. And he replied to me super positively and was super encouraging. He basically suggested that I continue writing, basically get my craft. And if you guys have noticed lately, I've been doing a lot more reviews. I'm getting involved more. I write on my own as well when I'm at home. You know, I basically am just trying to improve my craft as best as possible. I rewrote this guy a message again being like, hey, so can you give me an update about that job status? Like, what's going on? You know, it'd be awesome if I wrote for you. And hey, if you don't remember who this is, I'm from Comic Book Nerds Are Hot, the creator, blah, blah, blah. Next thing I know, within a day or two, I see this person joining the group.
Oh.
And yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about.
I think I know who you're talking about.
This person joined the group, and we welcomed him. I mean, our sexy administrator, Jax, was like, hello, and then a couple more of our beautiful young ladies were welcoming him all warmly, and whatever. The guy didn't even say a single thing, and then he quit the group the next day. This guy didn't even reply to my fucking email. He didn't say why he quit. He didn't even say anything. He just came, check it out, probably stole some shit for the future knowing him, and left. And finally, I found out that he is a fucking troll. We know who's the number one comic book industry troll that like aggravates people on the internet. Something Whacker, Steve Whacker.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's infamous for being a dick online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who do we see arguing back? Basically, troll number 2 to his troll number 1. The motherfucker who I think does not deserve to eat tonight, which is Rich Johnston. Fuck you, you fucking limey cunt. You fucking, this is what you do. You fucking fuck with me, you fuck with my mind, and then you shit on my shit. Suck my dick. Who do you think you're better than me, man? Go fuck yourself, okay? You fucking limey bitch.
This is the second time he's won this award.
Has he?
Yes.
Really? Oh shit.
Tim gave him this award for his horrible Iron Muslim.
Oh yeah, Iron Muslim. Holy shit, he's a fucking bigot too.
He wrote that comic.
Fuck you, Rich. Fuck you. You think you're fucking Mr. Mother Teresa? You think you're all like coming off at a balanced point or a fucking calm demeanor? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit on the inside. You can't hide it too much. Fuck you for disappointing me like the rest of the fucking world. Suck my dick, and I hope you don't eat tonight.
So that's all the time we have for this episode. Before we go, we got to pimp out a lot of stuff. We got our Comic Book Nerds Are Hot website. We have interviews, web comics. We get probably more interviews coming up, lining up in the near future. We got our Facebook group has split up to 3 groups right now. Can you talk about these groups, Oz?
Actually, I can't.
Okay.
We're not really allowed to talk about a couple of these groups because they are secret. But we have our fan page, we have our group, we have our affiliates, and 2013 is going to be a huge fucking year. If you guys have noticed, I've made a lot of the longtime members into administrators. It is not a favoritism game. There is plans a brewing with each single and every single ad that we've done. I can't really talk about too much. I don't want to like talk about shit that doesn't exist yet, but it is in the works, and even expect video review show soon. That's just one of the many things we've got brewing, so stick around with us, guys.
So that's all the stuff we have for our website, our Facebook group. We got a whole bunch of stuff planning up 2013. I'm planning on going to a couple of different events. I'm planning to reach out to interviews from people outside of the comic industry, like video game industry, and maybe even like sports and entertainment. Get in touch with them, talking with them, see what's going on, create more contact. We're moving our podcast to our website.
Without giving too much stuff away, I just hope you guys like cosplay. Yes. All right, continue.
And also, we're moving this podcast to our YouTube channel. Hopefully, people can go check us, what we've been talking for about, a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
And see what people think of us, and probably become like the punk rock of comic book news.
I like the way you said that, dude. I like the way you said that.
Pretty
Hey,
much.
Peter, look, I'm eating.
Yes, you're eating a sandwich, unlike certain people. But yet you've read Avengers versus X-Men.
But hey, in my defense, I got issue 1 for free because of my drunken escapade that if you look at another one of our podcasts, I explained thoroughly.
Yes.
So technically, I only bought issues 2 and 3.
So, Oz, can you sign out this show and also our first episode of 2013?
So guys, got a huge year coming up. I'm really happy and very thankful and appreciative that you guys have stuck out with us for such a long time. And we know that Comic Book Nerds Are Hot isn't just all about that. Comic Book Nerds Are Hot is a community, is a family. We're all lovers. We're all friends. We are fucking lovers. A couple of us even hooked up together.
Yes, that's true.
Big props out to everybody. You guys know who you are. Ain't gonna mention names, not gonna leave anybody out. But you motherfuckers know who you are. I love you from the heart. And finally, not like I even need to say this because the motherfucker's doomed for failure, but stop giving Bendis the money.
And for all you Spider-Man fans complaining about Dan Slott killing Peter Parker, please get laid.